something unique, something unprecedented and highly disturbing is happening in Geneva. We have a situation where an international convention with very high standards, comprehensively banning cluster munitions, entered into force a little over a year ago, became binding international law, and yet we have governments here this week and next week negotiating a new international treaty on cluster munitions with much lower standards. This has never happened before in international humanitarian law, where you have a treaty that has been agreed by the majority of the world's nations with very high standards, and then states get together and try to negotiate an alternative treaty with very low standards. We find this outrageous. The protocol has lower standards than existing U.S. policy. That existing U.S. policy was set under the Bush administration. We have a number of confirmed casualties globally through the end of 2010, which is just under 17,000, but we're convinced that that number doesn't mean a whole lot. We think that a huge number of casualties go unrecorded, and that the more realistic figure is an estimate between 20 and 54,000 casualties. Casualties include both deaths and injuries. And we hope as time goes on, we'll have a clearer picture of what this number is. We have counted cluster munition casualties in at least 29 countries and 3 other areas. Libya being added to the list this year with the new use in that country. Yes. We don't have any evidence that Syria has used cluster munitions. There were some allegations a while back, but they didn't seem to pan out. We could not find any evidence on use of cluster munitions. There are credible reports that Syria has laid landmines on the border with Lebanon just in recent weeks, but not cluster munitions.
Okay.